Well, there's no doubt about that, Barry. If you're going to get, you have to get to their starters, put some runs up on the board where you can keep Gossage and Davis out of the ball game. And then if you can do that, you got a chance to beat the Yankees.
As a manager, it must really be a gratifying thought to know that you've got a guy like Goose Gossage. He doesn't have to worry about breaking pitches, off-speed pitches. He can just go out there and challenge everybody.
Well, when you're throwing at 96, 97 miles an hour, you don't have to worry about a breaking ball, but he does have a very good slider. But in those situations, you don't worry about a slider. You just go after hitters because all he has to do is get 6 outs.
And speaking of relief pitching, Earl, I mean, it's the Montreal Expos and the Los Angeles Dodgers have to be a little short, and in that area, I would think they are most efficient compared to the Yankees.
Without a doubt, Gossage is awesome, and Davis is better than the strikeout per inning, and they can go to him early. You only have to use 3 starters in the World Series too, so they can choose May or Righetti to be out in that bullpen to be long man, and if you don't get ahead of them, then there's just no chance.
We mentioned Valenzuela earlier in the program, and of course with Valenzuela pitching this afternoon in Montreal, that means he'll only have 1 start in the series.
He'll probably only get 1 start unless they have some weather. There will be traveling days, but if he'll be starting the 3rd game, it'll be tough to come back for the last game. So with the Yankees being rested, being able to get rid of their minor injuries, and all their arms in perfect shape, they're going in here heavy favorites as far as I'm concerned.
Frank, you look at this Yankee roster and you try to pick out any one individual and you say, here's the guy who's really doing the job for the Yankees. You just can't do it. But I have to look at Dave Winfield. As an observer of the game of baseball, I look at this guy and I think this guy's got to hit 700. Everything he hits is a line drive.
Well, Dave Winfield is a complete ball player, as we say, and there are very few of them around today. And he does hit the ball hard. He's a line drive type hitter. He has almost what you call a pitcher swing, and the ball just jumps off his bat, and he can be awesome.
Is there anybody that you could look to and say, here's the guy that's really going to be the key to this World Series?
Well, you could, but I really don't know, you know, because sometimes the least person you think the least has gotten the least publicity or whatever over the season can step forward. What you call a little guy, like a Larry Milburn, could step forward and be a hero in this series, and the big guys, you know, can fail.
Any ideas about how to pitch some of these Yankee hitters, Earl? I know with your probably one of the toughest pitching staffs in baseball you had.
Well, we did good. I think they're going to want to pitch Reggie up, in, out of the strike zone. Winfield, you're going to have to stay down and go in and out with the fastball and make sure you get some breaking balls over the plate to him. We haven't found out how to get Mumphrey out. He hits both the curveball and the fastball good from both sides of the plate and hits to both fields. Randolph, you want to stay away from the fastball above the belt to him. Keep the breaking balls for strikes and the fastballs down. Cerrone, you're going to want to stay away from him until he shows you indications to going to right field. Once he starts stepping out over the plate, then you're going to have to bust him in. And Lou Piniella, you just want to outguess. He looks for a pitch every pitch. He's looking for something. He's got something in his mind, and he does not swing unless he gets it. And he can hit the ball up, down, in, or out. So what you have to do is just outthink him.
And you're talking about Lou Piniella. You're talking also about Oscar Gamble. There will be no DH in this series.
No, there won't, but that just makes an awesome bench that much stronger. The Yankees are going to be able to make any kind of move they want, and the National League Club will not be able to run them out of players unless they go 15, 16 innings.
Well, the Yankees will have had at least 3 days. The Expos and the Yankees.
Well, I think the starting pitchers matchup is pretty even. Montreal has, I think, Steve Rogers, they have one of the best pitchers in baseball. Gullickson is a good young arm. He can beat anyone on a given day. And Burroughs is the crafty veteran, mix up his pitches in and out. And I think the Yankees with Tommy John's the same way. Then all of a sudden, Guidry is bringing the smoke, and they can throw in a Rudy May, or they can go with a Righetti. And I think it's about even there. But I think the difference is in the bullpen. After you get past Jeff Reardon in the Montreal bullpen, that's not much. And everybody else knows about the Yankee bullpen.
And, of course, you got the Yankee power as opposed to the Montreal speed with Timmy Raines and Rodney Scott, Earl.
Yep, I'd rather have 3-run homers than stolen bases. I'm that type of manager. But don't sell the Yankee speed short, because Winfield can still steal a base. Randolph, naturally, is a guy that gets everything going. And Reggie can go get 1 7th, 8th, and 9th inning when he wants it. Like Frank, he'd get about 15 a year, but every one of them was either the tie and run, getting the second, or winning run. And the Yankees have some people capable of doing that. And Larry Milburn, too, can steal you a base. But both teams have good speed, and while Montreal is going to do a little more running, I think the Yankees might lay back for the long long ball.
You know, Frank, in a game of football, we talk about people who are gamers, and I would have to think that that holds true in baseball, too. And I look at a guy like Chris Spire, who had something less than a banner year, but he's come on, he's had a great playoff. A guy like that could be a key player in a game like this.
Well, there's no doubt about it, and every series seems to have that type of individual, and it seems to be like a Chris Spire type of individual, where he doesn't get a lot of publicity, but he's just that sound, solid ball player, goes out there and does his job, and all of a sudden comes up with the big hit of the big series.
Well, that's the way it matches up. Word to be the Expos and the Yankees, but what about the Dodgers? They still got a chance. Great pitching, good speed, a lot of bats. What more do they need? In this topsy-turvy baseball season, you never really know what to expect. But the National League Western Division playoffs were a good bet to go right down to the wire. In the opening game, the Astros called on a man who had no-hit the Dodgers only 10 days earlier, Nolan Ryan. Once again, Ryan was masterful as he held the Dodgers to just 2 hits and 1 run over 9 innings. But the Astros had managed only 1 run themselves until the bottom of the 9th when Alan Ashby came to bat. Ashby was the best hitter on the Houston team down the stretch, and he kept on rolling with this game-ending 2-run homer that almost blew the lid off the Astrodome. The next night, there were more late-inning heroics when Denny Walling came to bat on the bottom of the 10th with the score tied 0-0. Walling delivered a double that won the game, and the Astros were 2 games up. The Astros and their fans were confident that victory was at hand, as the prospect of a sweep seemed to be as easy as child's play. But the series moved on to Los Angeles, where the Astros had won only 4 of their last 16 games, and the Dodgers enjoy all the comforts of home. From the first game on, it was apparent that nothing much had changed. The Dodgers won games 3 and 4 and held a 4-0 lead in the bottom of the 9th of Game 5 as a determined Jerry Royce worked with 2 outs and 2 strikes on Houston batter Dave Roberts. The 3rd strike gets past the catcher, but a quick recovery ends the year for Houston, and the Dodgers are champions of the National League West. Dodger fans have had plenty to cheer about all year. There's first baseman Steve Garvey, who's had a hit in every postseason game he's ever played. The all-time Los Angeles RBI leader, Garvey is also a Gold Glove fielder who made only 1 error in 110 games this year. Dodger fans get pretty excited about second baseman Davey Lopes, who overcame an injury-filled season to lead the club with 20 stolen bases and is baseball's all-time leader in stolen base percentage. Shortstop Bill Russell was one of the few bright spots at the plate for the Dodgers in the '78 World Series against the Yankees, when he had 423. This year, Russell's numbers have been down, though he did hit over 300 during the last 2 weeks of play. At third base, the Dodgers always count on the Penguin, Ron Cey. And it looked like Cey's season was over when this pitch broke his left forearm early in September. At Jeopardy was one of Cey's most productive seasons, a season in which he hit .288, his highest average in 9 years. Fortunately